In 2012, the Arizona Diamondbacks called up 22-year-old Patrick Corbin. And although he did struggle a bit that year with the big league team, he also showed some potential, and that potential translated to a really good 2013 season. Patrick Corbin is also a pretty humble and nice person. With his signing bonus he got, he actually bought a used car rather than a brand new one. He officiates youth basketball games during the offseason, and during the 2012 to 2013 offseason, Corbin lived in his parents' basement. Well, turns out whatever was in that basement helped, because 2013 was dominant for Patrick. In 2013, Corbin threw over 200 innings with a 3.41 ERA, striking out 178 hitters and becoming an all-star at the midway point. He was awesome. The Diamondbacks, not so much, but the future at least looked a little more bright with their young new all-star on the mound. What the 2013 season earned him was being named the opening day starter for 2014. That unfortunately never ended up happening, as Corbin's arm tightness led to an MRI, which revealed he had to get Tommy John surgery, missing all of 2014 and would not return until midway through 2015. He pitched in only 85 innings after coming back and did pretty well, but as for 2016, that was a struggle. In 2016, Corbin threw 155 and two-thirds innings with a 5.15 ERA. Not great, but 2017 was much better. In 2017, he threw 189 and two-thirds innings with an ERA just over 4, winning 14 games for the Diamondbacks in a season where they'd make the postseason. The next was his best year yet, throwing 200 innings on the dot in 2018 with a 3.15 ERA, striking out 246 hitters. He was dominant, and luckily for Corbin, he was about to become a free agent and get the bag. And get the bag he did. In December of 2018, Patrick Corbin signed a 6-year deal with the Washington Nationals for $140 million. Off the new chapter of his career began, and 2019 was incredible for the lefty. In 2019, Patrick Corbin threw 202 innings with a 3.25 ERA during the regular season, helping lead the Nationals to the postseason and all the way to Game 7 of the World Series, a game in which they'd win, with Corbin actually being the winning pitcher after coming on in relief. It was a magical year for Patrick and his new team. They were on top of the world. Skip ahead to now, and Patrick Corbin is perhaps the worst pitcher in baseball, and the Nationals are the worst team in baseball. Yeah, probably not how they all envisioned it would turn out after a championship season. So 2020 was of course the shortened year, meaning Corbin only threw limited innings like everyone else did, throwing only 65 and two-thirds. Although he wasn't good, pitching to a 4.66 ERA and giving up 85 hits, which was the most in all of baseball, it was a weird year, and not to be taken as seriously. Corbin was still looked at as a great pitcher. 2021 was back to a full season, with Corbin making 32 starts and throwing 171 and two-thirds innings. As for the results, he was terrible. He pitched to a 5.82 ERA, lost 16 games, the most in baseball, gave up 111 earned runs, the most in baseball, gave up 37 home runs, the most in baseball. I mean, it couldn't have been any worse for Corbin. The most worrisome part was that this was a huge sample size of getting crushed on the mound. It wasn't 2020 anymore. This was certainly something to be concerned about if you're the Nationals. But hey, at least it hit rock bottom. It can't get any worse than 2021, right? Well, Patrick Corbin has been even worse in 2022. In 2022, Corbin has pitched to an ERA over 7, giving up the most hits in baseball, the most earned runs in baseball. He's surrendered 21 home runs, and again, it's not like it's a small sample size. It's another big one. In fact, Corbin has made the most starts in baseball up until this point with 23, and has pitched over 110 innings. As a result, he's already lost as many games as he did all of last year with 16. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It has been terrible for Corbin and the Nationals since 2020. There's just no way around it, and the contract is looking real bad right now. It's insane to think about how great he was in 2019, a championship year, and since then, the Nationals have been perhaps the worst team in baseball, and Corbin has contributed to that. Now, here's where we get to the hard part the Nats have to deal with. Yes, he's been really bad on the mound, but it's not like they can't just release him. I mean, they can if they wanted to, but they'd still have to pay him. If you didn't remember what I said earlier, the Nationals gave Corbin $140 million over the course of 6 seasons. That's about $23 million a year. But that's not all. It's a very backloaded contract, meaning he's getting more money at the end of the deal. To help with the payroll, Corbin wasn't making as much in 2019 despite signing the contract. He only made $12.5 million that year compared to 19 the next in 2020 and 24 million in 2021. This season, Corbin is making $23 million. Buckle up, it gets worse. In 2023, he's set to make $24 million like he did in 2021, but in 2024, the sixth and final year of his contract, Patrick Corbin is set to make $35 million. That's not for another 2 years. The Nationals are stuck with him, or at least stuck with paying him until he becomes a free agent again. I made a video a bit ago about Steven Strasburg and how that was perhaps the worst contract in baseball right now, at least for a pitcher. Basically, at least the way I see it, the Nationals have the two worst pitching contracts in the sport, but both have been busts for entirely different reasons. Steven Strasburg can barely take the mound as he's always hurt. Since getting $240 million over 7 years with the Nationals, Strasburg has pitched just over 30 innings in the span of 3 years. That's all he's been able to contribute due to injury. As for Patrick Corbin, he's fine. As far as we know, he's healthy. He hasn't had any issues with making starts. Since he signed his contract, Corbin has made almost 100 starts and has thrown about 550 innings. He has no problem taking them out. That's not the issue. The issue is that he just sucks right now. It has gotten to the point where the Nationals even thought of including him in a package with Juan Soto. The deal would be whoever acquired Soto would also have to acquire Corbin and take on his bloated contract. As good as that could be, it would also have been pretty dumb, considering if they did that, the return would have been much less coming back to the Nationals. Yes, they'd get at least some talent in return for Juan Soto, but to have a team take on Corbin's deal is a big ask, and naturally would be part of what the Nats get in return. Fortunately, they didn't end up doing that and traded Juan Soto and Josh Bell for a good return, but the fact that they thought about lessening their return just to get rid of Corbin tells you everything you need to know. In 2 of his last 3 starts, Corbin has gotten pulled in the first inning. In 9 of his 23 starts so far in the year, he's gotten pulled before 5 innings, which is what you have to pitch to qualify for a win as a starter. That's 39% of the time that he's had to be taken out before finishing 5 innings. And when he does go deeper into games, it's not like he's doing particularly well. This contract, one that was originally looked at as a great deal, has turned into a nightmare. The Washington Nationals are the worst team with the worst pitcher, and they still have to pay him $59 million for the next 2 years beyond this one. Let me know what you think about this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.